footytips.com.au TV.
Welcome to footytips.com.au TV. My name's Francis Leach and I'm here with Beverly O'Connor to look forward to round 12 of AFL action to see if we can pick you a few winners in your tipping competition. And Bev, that gets off to a great start. Friday night, Telstra Dome, two teams in real form, the Hawks and the Blues.
Absolutely. And look, the Blues, they've really started running to a little bit of confidence. I love the fact that Pagan has said, look, they're going to keep playing attacking style footy. I have to say, though, that I still think Hawthorn's midfield is a little too strong for them at the moment, but it's going to be a really tough contest.
Footy fans in general should enjoy this one, a very open game of football. We don't always get to see that. I tend to agree with you. In the midfield, the Hawks might just have the edge. Sewell will probably get Mark Murphy or one of the young guns for Carlton. They just have that tough grunt in the middle that might make the difference. And Lance Franklin also might prove a bit of a problem. But Satando O'Halpin has been playing well.
Gibbs.
He's going to be a superstar.
Superstar.
And Jared Waite for Carlton as well. This is a real toss of the coin game. And either of these teams win, they'll be setting their sights for the 8.
Absolutely. But Hawthorn, for me, I think they've just got too much confidence at the moment.
Hawks for me too, but that one will be a tough one. Could be the one that decides your tipping competition later in the year. What about the Roos and the Crows at Carrara on Saturday coming up?
Well, look, the Kangaroos, they've been really toughing out some great wins. Adelaide are looking really beautiful. We know that they've had some big injuries. Kangas want to really prove that this is their home turf. That's where they want to settle. I think the Kangaroos will be great. Shannon Grant didn't have a great match last week, but I think he's due for another big one.
Well, that's the beauty of the Roos. They can't be predicted as to where they're going to get their goals from. It might be Shannon Grant one week, it might be Brent Harvey the other. Last weekend against the Saints, it was Corey Jones who popped up with 4. Maybe that versatility is what's going to be a secret weapon for them for the second half of the season.
John Cox good though, he could come in and do some damage.
And they're looking for more from Mark Rasciuto in his return, but I agree with you. Once again, maybe the Kangaroos at Carrara on Saturday night up there on the Gold Coast. The Dogs and the Dockers head to Darwin, which is where the Western Bulldogs are trying to make a home for themselves. I'm not convinced by the Dockers. I know they beat Richmond last week, but they gave up a 26-point lead at half-time, and they still quite haven't proved to me that they're on top of their game.
No, they haven't, but the Doggies have lost 2 really key players in Cross and Griffin. Not sure that they can overcome that, but I do think you're right. Freo have not settled down. The Doggies want to win. Again, they've probably done more in Darwin, so they've been preparing for the heat conditions. They've been preparing, and they've got an extra day's rest. I think the Doggies will get over the Dockers.
It'll be a very tough one. Fremantle will want to win this one to try to give their second half of the season momentum, but I'm going to agree with you again. The Dogs in a tight one. The other big game on the weekend, the Cats will take on Brisbane. The top of the table Cats at home at Skilled Stadium. The Lions are in a bit of a trough at the moment.
Absolutely. And look, they are in a rebuilding phase as well. The Cats, just supreme confidence at the moment. Yeah, they've hit the wall before, but they're not going to surrender the lead at their lovely Cardinia Park.
No, they really do look the goods. They came back from an ordinary start against Adelaide away from home and won. That was a massive confidence boost for them. And they'll be enjoying playing in front of their home crowd.
Flag favourites.
Absolutely, at the moment. Okay, Port Adelaide are also in a bit of a trough. They were beaten by Carlton last weekend. Essendon have won their last 2 games against the top 2 teams from last year by a point. If they do it this week, it'll be the first time in the history of the game that a team has been involved in a 1-point margin in 3 consecutive weeks.
Well, I don't know what can Sheedy and Hurd not do, but I have to say that Hurd he's brilliant. You never write him off, but I haven't seen him put 2 together, travelling over to Port. Treadray hasn't been in great form, you have to say. Scotty Lucas still a bit up and down. I just don't think Essendon are going to get over them because I think Port really have to win this. Otherwise, their season's pretty much over.
I think that the Bombers can win it. I think their confidence is sky high. So let's separate on that one. You go for Port, I'll go for the Bombers. Don't forget, you have to get your tips in early because it's a split round. So next week, there'll be 3 other games which constitute round 12. And let's talk about a few of those. One of the big ones has to be Richmond and Melbourne. Your D's are back, Bev. 2 in a row and in great form on Queen's birthday Monday.
Absolutely, and I'm very relieved to tell everyone that Neitz looks like his knee's okay and that he should be fine. We've got that extra rest, so that's great news for us. But don't underestimate the Tigers, and this is a danger game for us too. So we can't get overly cocky and rest back and think it's all home and hose, but I can't go past my D's.
Tigers have been great value without a win. It doesn't make any sense, I know, but I agree with you. I think your team, the Demons, just finding a bit of form and confidence now will be hard to beat. Saturday night in Sydney next week, the Swans take on the Pies at Telstra Stadium. A big crowd there, and the Swans just know how to win these tough games.
They certainly do. I mean, Telstra Stadium they're not as comfortable as they are at the SCG. think Collingwood have got a few question marks over them. Harry O'Brien out. You've got to go for the Swannies.
I'll pick the Swans as well, but I know the Pies like playing at Telstra Stadium. They've won there a couple of times. It should be a close one. And the final game, I think everyone's going to mark this down in their book as a win for the West Coast Eagles.
Sorry,
the much mauled Saints head west without Fraser Gehrig, who'll miss with an arm or finger injury. And Robert Harvey may be coming back to play his 350th game, but at the moment they are in a real hole too.
And you know, off-field, on-field, it always affects the off-field dramas always affect on-field, but also the West Coast. They're a classy outfit. They're going to get across the line.
And they're also coming off the back of a loss away from home, which means they want to bounce back pretty tough. So the Saints with it all to do in the West. If you pick the Saints and they win, you will be the best tipster in your competition, because I think you'll be the only one. Look, great talking to you again, Bev.
Lovely to see you, Francis.
Hope you pick all 8.
Yes.
If you do, that means I didn't, and I hope you do as well. So tune in next week to footytips.com.au TV to see how you go.
footytips.com.au TV.